What is going on, guys? I'm back with another art video. Well, another kind of like speed painting video, but this time I'm actually going to do this in time lapse. I'm actually going to speed it up. For this image, it was more of a random, spontaneous kind of image that I tried to go in and use different brushes. As you see, I'm going in with kind of like the rake brush. You know, I used to call that brush the concept art rake. It helps you to block things out, and it gives a little bit of texture and teeth to what you're blocking out. Ignore that, that's Snapchat. It's my most well-used social media at the minute, and kind of I'm always getting alerts and messages. But anyway, so with this image, obviously from the off, I instantly came to this conclusion of what it was going to be. It was going to be this giant being. Now, initially when I started it, I didn't think machine. It could have been organic, and then I ended up going in the machine direction. Spoiler alert. I don't exactly understand the reason why. You know, I've left a little bit of it open that the machine could be magical or something. It has these little energy pieces on it, but at the same time, it could not be. It could just be that's the technology that's used. You know, I've left a little bit of suggestion that the world's quite magical. I'm working on a project that kind of fits into this same kind of vein with kind of floaty islands and stuff. You're going to see them in a minute. But, you know, overall, the start of this image, there goes Snapchat again. The start of this image was something that was just an exercise in randomness. People a lot of the time talk about the happy accident method of creating, and it exists, but it's more of an interpretational jolt. You're giving yourself an energy via whether it be forms or shapes, you know, or even some values you've seen kind of go together, and you think, well, I can take that. You know, there's ways of just like that. I just took a piece and I extended it, and I'm going to paint through and make another piece out of that piece. That was an accident, really. I just thought, let me just try a technique. Something that a technique I learned a long time ago, and I thought I'd implore it. And it's sometimes these things stick. You know, for the most part, when I paint, I'm just thinking about shapes, and I'm thinking about where things can go, and I'm thinking about what interesting marks I can make on the canvas. Now, for me, an image like this requires you to be open to your ideas and be open to your emotions. You know, what you're feeling when you are creating it. Not in terms of not how you feel about life at the minute, but what your instincts are telling you to do, what actions you should be taking whilst kind of painting something like this. Because if you decide to sit down and render this out for another 12 hours, you need to make sure that the foundation was right. And that's kind of all this image is, really. Even when I spent an hour and 15 minutes on it, in the end, it became a image that is just really a foundation. You know, it would be a proof of concept, or it'd be an image to inspire a team. It wouldn't be a final super illustrated piece that's meant to, you know, be in an art gallery somewhere. It'd be something to say, all right, guys, this is the concept we're going for. This is the direction we're going in. I know we're at a troubled time at the minute with the, you know, the thing going on with people getting sick and stuff. And I've spent a lot of time not doing enough artwork at my computer. I've been on Procreate heavily. And for me, as an artist, I always really do understand the divide between what software I use. In my own personal opinion, it really makes a difference. It makes a difference what software you use. It makes a difference what techniques you employ. But there are very big similarities between the software that can help you to get past, you know, those ideas of differences. For me, I've realized that Procreate can be used more practically. You just have to kind of make the right brushes and make the right decisions and be persistent. You know, be persistent with it. Use more layers. If you don't use that many layers when you work in Photoshop, then maybe in Procreate you should use those extra layers, because you don't have all the extra things. You don't have the brush engine that works the same way. You don't have all the editability. You don't have all the things that make you comfortable in Photoshop. even though Procreate is a fantastic art app, and it's changed my life for the better. Do I think it's the best app on iPad Pro? It's the most intuitive. I think in terms of the most Photoshop-like app, I think the most, hands down, the app that's most like Photoshop, hands down, is Artist Studio Pro. But the funny thing about Artist Studio Pro is that even it doesn't interpret the brushes the same way as Photoshop does. So it and Procreate have the same issue. And then, you do have portable Photoshop for the iPad Pro, which isn't really very good. It's just not. It just doesn't work well. It doesn't have that many options. It's not really Photoshop. Not yet, anyway. Whereas Clip Studio Paint is actually Clip Studio Paint. And that's a strange thing to think about. But that Clip Studio Paint on the iPad Pro is basically the full app. Which, for me, I feel bad in a sense, because I deleted that app because I wanted to spend more time focusing on making my Procreate process more robust. And I feel like I had to make a conscious decision to not have that many different art applications on the iPad, so I wouldn't be distracted by all of the art applications. But back to what I'm doing here. But that's the reason why I haven't been doing that much work on Photoshop, because I figure, like, while I'm quarantined and whatever, while everyone's quarantined and everyone's kind of on self-isolation, I figure, why don't I make more work? I've been making work. I've been doing a lot of kind of experimental stuff as I do, and that's not enough. I need to be making more pieces of art. Even this isn't a piece of art. It's a experiment. It's a concept. It's at its base stage. Even when I finished and I'm done with it and I'm never going to touch it again, it's at its base stage. It's not a finished illustration, and it's not a fully fleshed out concept, but at the same time, it is a concept. I want to do more things that are finished, and that's something I want to go towards. I want to make more videos about getting from zero to a final piece and what you have to do to kind of grind through that. Because from getting to zero to a final image is kind of like playing an RPG. It requires a lot of grinding. In some forms, it requires you to go out and do research, get some reference, and create that way. And I've made myself a new rule: when I'm going to create pieces of art that I consider to be actual pieces, say I want to make a queen, from a certain kingdom, I have at least, and this is new for me because I never did this before, I'm going to make myself get at least 4 pieces of reference, at least. So that is my absolute minimum reference usage. It has to be 4 pieces of reference that help me go through the image, because I've spent a lot of time doing artwork and not using reference when I should have been using reference, and it would have made my life so much easier. Whether it's ego, pride, or just stupidity, I didn't use reference for a lot of things that I've done, and it's made the process kind of more strenuous. But at the same time, there's been times when I haven't used reference and I've had fantastic results. But there's been times where using reference would have been a lot more helpful than doing guesswork. And also, things like using photo texture. Photo texture is a perfectly good tool for someone like me, because I've always considered myself first and foremost to be a designer and a concept artist, not so much an illustrator. I use the word illustrator when I'm describing myself to people that don't understand what a concept artist is or a concept designer is. But in my head, in my heart, I am for creation. I am for the ideas. I am for the concept. I am for the development. That's what I am in this for. That's what I love about creation. I love the idea of creating worlds and developing ideas. More so than I enjoy painting and drawing directly, and painting and drawing to create beautiful art. That's not really what I'm in it for. There are times when I say, okay, let's make a beautiful piece of art, but it's more because I want to create a concept. I want to convey an emotion. I want to make people understand how this world works. Even with this image, I wanted to kind of throw out some ideas with those crafts I put in the background. Maybe it's a magic driven world. Maybe they've got a power source that allows things to work differently. Maybe, you know, that yellow power source is an indication of what it is they're using. Maybe they harness the actual ultraviolet light from the sun and they utilize that as pure energy in a more kind of like condensed and more focused way. Maybe that's what they do, you know. But these are all ideas that I'm not sure about. This is brand new. This is an idea that this could end up being like, you know, a kind of pseudo piece of concept art for a concept I'm currently kind of thinking about developing. You know, but you guys will just have to wait and see. I want to do more stuff like this, but I also want to do more finished pieces on this channel. This is the final image. I kind of left it open for a while, so I left the record on, and then I left this on the screen while I listened to some music, just to kind of have something in the background at the end of this video. But thank you guys for watching. It's an absolute pleasure. I appreciate everyone that watches. I appreciate everyone that kind of comments or whatever it is that you guys do. Thanks a lot. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.